It's the spookiest month of the year, and let me tell you, this month does not disappoint for VOD streaming content. Besides the big releases like Five Nights at Freddy's and The Exorcist, we have plenty to look forward to. As always, this is done in chronological order, and I've pinned everything in the comments for your convenience. But I have to say, October 6th and October 13th are likely the biggest horror days in 2023, and keep watching to find out why, especially to the end, because the last one is a surprise for a certain horror franchise fan, one that I thought ended a long time ago. But let's get into it. Horror meets Project Runway with Hulu's newest original, Appendage. The comedy drama horror follows a young fashion designer's life that spirals as her darkest inner thoughts begin to manifest into something gruesome that won't stop growing. I'm not too sure where the comedy comes in because the trailer looks dark and gory, but there's only one way to find out. This one is currently out right now on Hulu. The Jester reminds me of another recent horror icon, and it's been getting a lot of buzz. The movie got a small theatrical release at the end of September, but it's heading to VOD on the 3rd. The movie, which is a Dread original, is based on a short film trilogy by the director. The story follows a malevolent being known as the Jester as he terrorizes the inhabitants of a small town on Halloween night, including two estranged sisters who must come together to find a way to defeat this evil entity. I wonder if you are also picking up on the movie that I think has similar vibes. If so, drop it in the comments because great minds think alike. The Chucky TV show is back and stronger than ever. In Chucky's never-ending thirst for power, season 3 follows Chucky's involvement with the most powerful family in America, the First Family, inside the infamous walls of the White House. How did Chucky wind up here, and in God's name, what does he want? Meanwhile, Tiffany faces a looming crisis of her own after the events of last season. Are you a Chucky fan? The first half, consisting of 4 episodes, premieres on October the 4th on Sci-Fi, with it streaming the next day on Peacock. If you're looking for something with some higher stakes, well, Netflix original action thriller Ballerina hits the platform this month. With the tagline "Merciless and Ruthless to Hell," the South Korean film is by director-writer Chung Hun Lee, who also directed the much-loved thriller The Call from 2020, which also stars the same Lee. The movie is about an ex-bodyguard who sets out to fulfill her late friend's last wish, revenge. It looks slick, moody, and incredibly bloody. Check out this one from the 6th on Netflix. Tom DeLonge from Blink-182 is releasing what he's been warning pop-punk lovers for years about. Monsters of California is a sci-fi directed by DeLonge, which follows a group of teenagers who are on the quest for the meaning behind a series of mysterious paranormal events in Southern California. Some of you may know about the strange involvement with DeLonge exposing UFO information, so I was surprised that I only just learnt about this film. And it's very interesting he went for a fictional take instead of a full-blown documentary. I was very tickled to hear in the trailer Aliens Exist playing in the background. This is a bizarre meeting of pop culture and conspiracy, and I, for one, will not be missing it. You can rent it from the 6th on platforms like Vudu. And again, October the 6th is packed with content, but although I'll be watching a bunch on this list, Pet Sematary: Bloodlines is my focus. This is a prequel to one of my favorite films and books of all time, Pet Sematary. But this one follows Judd Crandall in 1969 as he has dreams of leaving his small hometown in Maine. But soon he discovers sinister secrets buried beneath, forcing him to confront a dark family history, which will keep him connected to this town forever. The film stars Henry Thomas, David Duchovny, Jack White, and Pam Grier. The entire film is supposed to be based on the memories of Judd, which are given in the book, told to Creed under different circumstances. This Paramount Plus original will premiere on the streaming platform on the 6th. But if you're looking for something a little bit more lighthearted, well, in the slasher kind of way, comedy horror Totally Killer also hits Prime on the 6th. The story takes place in a town which is infamous for a murderer known as the Sweet 16 Killer, who returns 35 years after his first murder spree to claim another victim. But not everything goes to plan when 17-year-old Jamie accidentally travels back in time and becomes determined to stop the killer before he can even start. Kieran Shipka, known for many roles including the modern Sabrina, is the lead in Totally Killer. The first reviews from the film praise exquisite for its balance of horror and comedy. So if you're after a good time, check this one out on the 6th on Prime. Is it already time for another VHS film? Yes, you heard me say H. I know how you hate how Australians say that, but apparently it is time for another one. VHS 85 premieres on Shudder this month. It's unveiled through a made-for-TV documentary where 5 tales of found footage horror emerge to take viewers on a terrifying journey into the grim underbelly of the 80s. I'm always curious but apprehensive of anthologies, but I'm hoping to see some more creative shorts this time. Hail Ratma. And if you're looking for something else creative, well, independent horror movie The Bellkeeper hits VOD this month. The film follows a small group of friends who traveled to an alleged haunted camp to do exactly what the legend says not to do: ring a mysterious bell at midnight. According to the stories and legend, if you ring the bell, a murderer will appear. But the group's plan to debunk the myth goes awry as they discover that the truth is far stranger and more frightening than fiction. What is more exciting than this? Friend of the channel, Mike Flanagan, is back with his new horror drama TV show, and I have a feeling it's going to be packed with satisfying flanologues. This contemporary horror series is based on multiple works by Edgar Allan Poe, returning with all of the iconic Flanagan actors such as Kate Siegel, Henry Thomas, Carla Gugino, and many more. The 8-episode series will premiere on Netflix on the 12th, but the first 2 episodes were already shown last week at a film festival where they received a lot of praise from people from within our own community that I was lucky enough to talk to and that were lucky enough to be there. I'm so excited to see what is next from this modern horror icon. Swedish slick horror comedy The Conference looks to be a tightly written mystery with ghoulish properties. The Netflix original is about a team-building conference that turns into a nightmare when accusations of corruption begin to circulate and plague the work environment. Like 9 to 5 wasn't scary enough. At the same time, a mysterious figure begins murdering the participants. The trailer looks kooky, whimsical, and full of offbeat belly laughs. Catch this one from the 13th on Netflix. The 4th season of Creepshow premieres this month on Shudder and AMC+. Season 4 contains episodes with intriguing titles including Grieving Process and To Grandmother's House We Go. We'll be treated to 6 episodes on Shudder and AMC+ on the 13th, with the remaining episodes coming out each week. Based on the 2016 novel of the same name, Dark Harvest is finally getting released this October. This movie takes place in a small Midwest town where a legendary monster terrorizes the residents when he arises from the cornfields every Halloween with a butcher knife. Now the town must come together to prevent him from returning this October and forever. It's the Children of the Corn film we all dreamed of, and let's hope it's better than any of them we actually got. One of my most anticipated movies, Dear David, is finally hitting the small screen this month. Based on the viral Twitter thread by Adam Ellis, Dear David is the story of Adam, who begins to experience sleep paralysis and is unsure of what is real. As he begins to share his experiences online, Adam begins to believe that he is being haunted by the ghost of a dead child named David. Adam, encouraged by his boss to share his thoughts on what is transpiring, starts to lose his grip on what is online and what is real. I'm so interested to see how this real-life viral thread is transformed into a horror film. And you may be lucky enough to catch this one on the big screen on the same day it's playing at limited cinemas, but I'll be renting it online for sure. The Goosebumps series premieres on the 13th of October on Hulu and Disney+, depending on your country. The tagline for this one is scarier than you remember, but the adventure comedy fantasy series is PG. In the 10-episode series, we follow a group of 5 high schoolers who unleash supernatural forces upon their town and must work together in spite of their friendships, rivalries, and pasts in order to save it, learning the truth about their own parents' teenage secrets in the process. Catch it on the 13th. This next one is so bizarre to me. John Carpenter's Suburban Screams hits Peacock this month. The series delves into the hidden darkness lurking in suburban neighborhoods, uncovering true stories told by those who experienced them through cinematic scenes, personal archive, and historical footage. It blends horror film aesthetics with documentary techniques to create a uniquely chilling viewing experience. But the best best part for me is that Carpenter composes the series' theme music. New Shudder original The Puppet Man is the story of a convicted killer on death row who insists that he was under an evil force's control when he committed the murders. Now, a woman suspects that there may be truth to his claims when people around her start to die in brutal ways. Only she can break the Puppet Man's curse in order to save her loved ones. The horror film will premiere on Shudder and AMC on the 13th. Shining Vale Season 2 is back with Courtney Cox and Greg Kinnear. In Season 1, Cox's character moved to a small town where her symptoms of depression also mirrored possession. In this new season, we delve deeper into the haunted history of their new home as they grapple with their inner and outer demons. The show premieres on Starz on October the 13th. This next one really freaks me out. UK Netflix production The Devil on Trial takes aim at the term possession, as we learn the case of a US murder trial where demonic possession was used as a defense. The documentary presents first-hand accounts of alleged devil possession and the shocking details of a murder with reenactments and home video. The dark documentary investigates the apparent possession of a young boy and the brutal murder that followed. Keep an eye out for the full trailer, which is not currently out at the time of editing. Night of the Hunted is a new survival horror about an unsuspecting woman who stops at a remote gas station in the dead of night. But her stop may be her last one, as she's made into the plaything of a horrific sniper with a secret vendetta. Catch this one on Shudder from the 20th. From the mind of severely underrated horror, Terrified, comes When Evil Lurks. This is a story of possession. Set in a remote village, two brothers find a demon-infected man. After warning the neighbors in the town, they decide to get rid of the man, but mistakenly help release evil while doing so. I am really excited to check this one out. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Terrified. This one hits Shudder on the 27th. And of course, as promised, a franchise I long thought was gone is back. Hell House LLC is back with the origins of the Carmichael Manor. Fans of the franchise will be excited with this newest edition, which takes place in 2021, where a group of internet sleuths travel to the remote Carmichael Manor deep in the woods of Rockland County, New York. This is the site of the infamous 1989 Carmichael family murders that have gone unsolved to this day. But what they discover are the secrets that have been hiding away for decades and the terror that has been lurking in the shadows long before Hell House LLC. This one will premiere on the 30th on Shudder. And that concludes my list of what to watch this October, and that is just for VOD. If you haven't discovered my list on must-see horrors that are on Tubi for free streaming right now, why not check that out? Stay safe and stay spooky.